From this moment on, Gaspar's work is over. Life goes on by itself, reproducing and renovating itself each year. Without any economic assistance from the government, this administrative employer manages each year during his vacation period to set up an operative system in which 10 men are involved. They repopulate stretches of the river that have been tithed in the past with young Amazon turtles in a hard job for which they receive no wage whatsoever. They work because of their love for life, their love for the river, with the only objective of assuring a site like this one for their children, when they themselves are no longer here.
On a general basis, people don't know what we're losing. Many of the things we see today, we won't see them tomorrow. Our children and grandchildren won't have the opportunity to see them. And that's what we're here fighting for, and we're making sure that everybody understands that this has to be a shared responsibility, so uncontaminated nature can be enjoyed by my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, and the children of their children.
Are you saying that when you're no longer in the world, he will be a turtle guardian?
Yes, I sincerely hope so. Right, darling?
The same rain that in the previous story worried the brainy NASA scientists sprinkles Gaspar's hope. The water cycle is closed, just and necessary, an essential element for the glow of the orchids and the heartbeat of the turtle. After a few years, the young turtles born under the careful watch of this nature lover will grow until they reach a shell size of 1 meter long. They will be Amazon turtles. Podocnemis expansa, the largest turtle on the planet. A miracle to which this great man, Gaspar, has contributed. Weighing half a ton, the manatee sticks its nose into our program. In the Amazonia, this kind and timid animal is known as the peixe-boi, that is, the fish cow, the largest herbivorous mammal that swims in these waters. A creature full of secrets, secrets which science intends to disclose before the animal is extinguished. The manatee is a corpulent animal 3 meters long, totally harmless to man. Its story is similar to that of the whale. Its size has been of no use to it, for it has been cruelly hunted down. It was hunted by the thousands for its meat and fat, and today, the peixe-boi is a true fugitive in its own home. Here in the installations of the INPA in Manaus, they are bred in captivity. For some Amazon populations, that's their only salvation. A new specimen has arrived today, injured by a hunting party. The biologists of INPA have to identify it genetically. Thanks to the study of its DNA, they will soon find out if it is a manatee that can be crossbred with the others that already exist in the center for future reintegration in their natural habitat. The newly arrived manatee is a female that had surely been separated from its child. This queen of the river's defensive tactics proved to be of no avail.
The manatee has an underwater diving strategy, which we call bronchocardio diving, and consists in reducing the cardio frequency when it dives, blocking the peripheral circulation, maintaining only the brain, heart, and lung circulation. It has no natural predators, save for man, and has an acute sense of hearing as its only defense weapon. The manatee perceives sound and movement beforehand, and therefore has time to hide. By remaining still in the bottom, it can avoid being attacked by its only mortal enemy, man.
Dr. José Alves Gomes works with gloves to avoid electrocution. He has just captured a puraque, an electric power plant of the Amazons. This neighbor of the manatee defends itself better from man than the harmless peixe-boi. Its Latin name tells it all, Electrophorus electricus. With just this size, this specimen can give electric discharges strong enough to light 5 100-watt light bulbs. A machine capable of administering 5,000 of those electric discharges in just 1 minute, causing the death of its prey. A larger specimen, for example 2.5 meters long, generates 1,000 watts, high tension in the river. The electric material that covers its backbone inspired the inventors of the voltaic batteries. This Salakoff with underwater microphones, loudspeakers, and recorder is part of the doctor's material. With it, the doctor studies this group of animals, almost unknown, without having to see it. After his expeditions in the laboratory, this young investigator, the only one that studies the matter, analyzes the river's more timid inhabitants, reaching conclusions that are to the interest of human beings concerning the levels of contamination of these waters. Unlike the enormous puraque, the sarapos are less feared, although just as electrifying and magical. These fish use their energy to communicate with each other, love, and defend themselves. Their lives are pure shocks, and now we can see and hear them.
We're trying to establish how the change in water quality in terms of the contamination it receives affects the electrical discharges that these fish give out. And with this data, we try to establish a pattern of discharges in good water and observe the changes that these electrical discharges undergo when the water is contaminated with different substances. We test the waters with heavy metals, hydrocarbons, and even with domestic garbage to identify the different frequencies that the electrical discharges of these small fish have.
Over 130 species of sarapos in the Amazonia behave as bioindicators. They help us with their anatomy. We continue our journey and are in the northeastern part of the Amazonia, in Brazil, but only 300 kilometers from the Venezuelan border. We trample the foothills of this flowery mountainside, the Cerro do Padre, with our boots and the tripods of our camera, waiting for night to come, and with it, its inhabitants. An hour after sundown, a flower hangs down, giving our monitor a fuchsia color, filling with evocative aromas the noses of those that now awaken. Yes, they're bats, and they're licking their lips. The flowers and they are made for each other. If the flower seems strange to us, the behavior of these tropical bats is ever more so. Their noses tell them that the pistils are full of nectar, so it will be better not to dally, just in case somebody else gets there first. The attack of various bats of the Glossophaga soricina species plucks this flower full of sugars clean. It's the sexual organ of a tree with an unimpressive name, the castaña de gallina, or chicken chestnut. And this episode is taking place 20 meters above the ground, at the top of the Amazon canopy of the unexplored Cerro do Padre. These small tightrope elves feed off nectar, that is to say, a most peculiar group of bats that feed exclusively off particular flowers. As is the case of many butterflies, their existence depends solely on a particular plant species. If the castaña de gallina disappears, so will this tribe of sweet-toothed mammals. A perfect symbiosis in which a number of nature lovers have taken an interest over the past few years.